So let's move on to creating quizzes. When I'm in here and I hit the create button, I can go to quiz assignment. Now, when you create a quiz, it's actually reaching out to Google Forms. Hopefully you're familiar with Google Forms. It's a formative assessment type of tool, digital assessment, allows students to do it real time, or they could even do it in an online format, so either way. So the first thing I would want to do is title my quiz, and I'm just making a general quiz here. Note again up here, I don't think I've mentioned this, but whenever I do any kind of assignment or quiz or anything else, I can assign it to one of my courses, but I could also just assign it to all of them at the same time. Okay, so if you ever have that need to cross over content with multiple sections of a course, you can do that very easily by just coming in here and checking them off, and it will actually appear in all of those courses. Okay. Down here, I can create a total number of points. I can go and do a due date. And let me show you one more thing before I go into that. And then I can do a topic. So this is a quiz for me. Okay, so I typed over, when you click at the bottom here, you will see that it says blank quiz. So this is a blank quiz form already created within the template for Google Forms. Okay, so just real quick, if I want to change the title of this quiz, I can do that here. If I click up on the corner, I can change it here as well. And then you can kind of decide what you want your students to do. Now, you're going to know which student completed the quiz because of the fact that their name is attached to them creating it. You can also put their name out here if you want to. And then when you start to create questions, what I like to do is if I already have those questions somewhere, I just copy and paste them. Okay, so I'm going to go out here and I'm just copying somebody else's climate change quiz to show you an example. Note here that true, false, I can probably copy those in one step like that and go back here. And notice how it auto fields them as two separate things. So really, really easy, right? And then here's my answer key. So if I'm out here and I know that this is true, I can come back here and put in my answer key and say true for that question. I can also say how many points that question is worth, and so on and so on. Then if I'm done with that question, I just hit OK, let's do another question. So you can actually build a quiz like this quite easily. And because you're feeding it answers, those questions will be auto-graded. Now, if you had a quiz that was mixed, you could put a couple open-ended questions in there. It would auto-grade anything that had a correct answer that you were able to put in an answer key for, and then you would just have to go back and grade the ones that can't be auto-graded on your own. Okay, so that is the simple way to create a quiz. Also note that there are other features in here within quizzes. So there's a lot of things. I won't show you all of them, but just real simplistically, if I want to change my theme because I don't like what this looks like, I can actually do an image in the background. You've got all kinds of images available out here that might work well. So I'm going to pick this one, being that it's about climate change, and hit select. And you'll see that my image then loads at the top of the page. So it changes the look of the quiz. I can also do things within a quiz like in my general settings, I can limit to one response. I can let them edit after they submit it. In the presentation things, I could shuffle question order. So if you're worried about students cheating on quizzes in your classroom, if you shuffle the question order, that's a really good way to go about controlling that to some extent. You can also put a confirmation message in. So maybe after they complete the quiz, you can have a message that says, when you're finished with the quiz, start your reading for tomorrow. something like that. Here's the quizzes feature. So this is already made a quiz because it's their quiz template, but you have some options as to how you release the grade or what they can see when you release the grade. Okay, so maybe you don't want them to see missed questions. Maybe you only want them to see correct answers or something like that. So you have some control here. If you want them to see immediately their grade, you can leave that checked, or if you want it to do later, you can turn that on. So some different options there for what they're seeing at the far end. And then when you're finished creating the quiz, you can go back to your window for Google Classroom, and you can see down here, I could still connect something to this quiz if I want to, but what I'm probably going to do is just click Assign, and then it goes ahead and assigns that quiz. Okay. Then when I click Quiz over here to sort my topics, there you go. I'm only seeing my quizzes. So hopefully we're starting to connect the dots between how all of this works in Classroom. Thanks.